Welcome back. As we learned last week in our interview with Kylie from Between England and Everywhere, you don't always have to be certified to work in the classroom or to teach. Thanks again, Kylie, for joining us last week. It was really great. If you have teacher certification, that's great. That's awesome. Being a US certified teacher opens you up to so many different opportunities, especially when it comes to being recruited and working in an international school. In all honesty, we would all love an opportunity where we're recruited, we get to go abroad, all expenses paid, we have housing and everything included, right? But that's not always the case for everyone. So, no certification, no problem. There are so many places who are willing to have education professionals come on, whether it's as teachers, teacher assistants, or even language assistants. You don't ever have to feel like your credentials or lack thereof will hold you back or enable you to not get to the goals that you set for yourself. It's really important to me that education professionals find what works for them in a setting that works best for their needs, their family's needs, or even their credentials and experiences. So if you have no certification, there are so many things that are out there for you. There are experiences where you can go abroad and you can work as a tutor. You can even do like Kylie and work online. You don't always have to end up in a classroom. You can work virtually on your own independently as a tutor or a language assistant. You can work for a school where you're working in cooperation with the government. I know in Spain there's so many different opportunities for that. And I actually, later on in the podcast, in our season, we'll talk about some opportunities that are country-based, where countries will recruit you to come over, and whether it's working for a school year or where you can renew for more years of working, it gives you an opportunity where even if you're not certified, if you don't have that US teacher certification, you can still have an opportunity to work in a classroom, work with children, work with adults, and be able to travel and work and teach in the way that works for you and in the way that you want. So, looking at what I plan to talk about today, it's going to be a quick one because I really just want to remind everyone that you don't have to be certified to get these teaching opportunities. You don't have to have certification or spend many years in school to be able to teach abroad or go abroad and work in a classroom with adults or with children. In the second segment, I have some resources that I do want to share. It's always best to head to the show notes on the blog to get these links and do some further research or homework, as I always say, because it really does help you to get a handle onto what you want to do and have a plan. I'm a planner. I always say that. I think it's always important to know what you want to do, lay it out, and say, okay, this is where I'm going to start. Step 1, step 2. It helps with my mind. I don't know about anybody else, but it helps me to really break down what I need to do and how I need to accomplish it. So I always encourage you to do your quote unquote homework because it helps you to have a plan and know how to set it out effectively. So thinking about no certification, no problem, I think it's really important for you to look at what your experience and education has brought you to. There are many of you who might not have a bachelor's or an associate's or even a master's degree, and I know you love working with children or you want to be able to travel and do all these amazing things, and it can be a bit discouraging when you don't see yourself reflected in that market of people who are going abroad. And so my goal here is to help you feel that this is attainable for you and this is possible for you, even if you're walking in the door with an associate or even with a high school diploma. There are opportunities out there for you. There are opportunities out there for everyone. And it's always best to know where to start so that you can know where you're going. Okay, so first things first, I think it's important for you to assess the country that is looking for teachers with specific credentials, whether it's countries that only want people who have a bachelor's degree or more, or countries who are just like, you know what, if you're a native English speaker, come on down, we want you. So take a look at the differences, take a look at the salary requirements, which I know I've talked about in the past, but take a look at what they have to offer and what you can bring to the table, right? It's going to be a give and take with relocation, right? You're going to another country, you're providing them with what you have, your resources, your skills, whether it's English or teaching experience or classroom management or your artwork or your creativity, whatever it is that you're bringing with you, right? There's going to be a reciprocal relationship there, whether it's you learning more about the language or the culture, or of course, getting paid to do your work. There's going to be a reciprocal relationship, and it's important for you to assess what you have to offer and what they have to give. And once you combine these two and you find the place that works for you, then you make your move. Also, keep in mind the first place you land might not be where you end up forever, right? Some of you might want to go and try this out for a year or two and then come back home and maybe pursue your certification then. Others might be just interested in country hopping, but it's best to take a look and assess your needs in order to know where you're going and how you can plan accordingly going forward. Now, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, as I've said, I have so many different resources to share, and it's always best to not only look at the show notes, but just connect with me on social media as well if you have any further questions about where to go, ideas of who to connect with, maybe other teachers who have gone abroad that I've connected with, and I could help you to make those links and those connections. So we'll be back. Welcome back. If you're feeling motivated, now is the time to do your homework. If you're ready to jump right in and start teaching abroad this year, there are so many locations where they're willing to hire you even without a teaching degree and will actually help you in the relocation process. Now, if you're interested in going abroad, you have no degree, and you just want to jump right in, according to TEFL or International TEFL Academy, there are countries that will accept you with no degree. These include Cambodia, Costa Rica, Spain, Argentina. So if you want to be located in South America, Europe, Asia, this is a great list for you to get started. Again, at International TEFL Academy, and I will leave those links in the show notes. There are also other countries where they will help you get set up, pay for relocation expenses, which sounds like a really good plan to me. These countries include South Korea and China, and the relocation opportunities sometimes include flight, accommodations. They pay for health insurance. So, really do some digging to see what works for you and if these opportunities will be down to the things that you need to, whether it be cover your bills, whether it be cover your travel expenses so you can bop around to different countries. Make sure you're checking out these countries to see if they are on your list of places that you want to visit. Now, if you're like me, and you're a planner and you've got years of experience and an education background and you just want to move forward and maybe teach at a new location, maybe learn a new language while you're still teaching and traveling, a great place for you to take a look at, according to Verge magazine, is looking at Saudi Arabia or even New Zealand. Now, if you're curious about going to the Middle East or curious about going to the Polynesian area or the South Pacific, this is a great place to start. There are so many places that are willing to take you on. And again, Verge magazine has an extensive list. So the two that I've included, believe me, there are so many more for you to take a look at. And it's really important that you see whether the salary requirements or the application process meets your needs and you have the requirements that are needed so that you can start that planning process to help you get on your way. Now, although it might not be what you are looking for, right? If you have no certification, no degree, and you're still kind of thinking about what you want to do and where you want to go, I think it's best to start with a location that might be central. Maybe it's easy to get back home. Maybe the language is a language you're familiar with, and you just want to dip your toe in a bit. My recommendation is to take a look at Spain. They have many opportunities for individuals who are just looking to perhaps start some travel. They're interested in teaching, or they've been teaching for a little while and they just want to see what things look like on the other side of the world. Spain is a great place to start. Do your homework, see what government opportunities are available for you. I know there are groups on Facebook with information. I was just getting some notifications this weekend about application processes for some of these groups. So don't hesitate to use the resources available to you, including Facebook, including Instagram, including my podcast, to help you get started on your way and on your journey to teaching abroad and traveling and seeing the world. If you haven't noticed, travel has gotten more expensive lately. And if it's a way for you to be in a centrally located country where you can bop around and go to Northern Europe or North Africa and see different parts of the globe, if teaching is this gateway for you, I say explore it. I say get on it, connect with people, see where they are, see how they are doing in their new location. This is why I'm really, really excited about bringing on individuals who can really help you get an idea of what it's like. Sometimes it's great to hear it from someone who's done it, who's been there, and their experience, good or bad, will help you make the appropriate decision that's right for you. So come back again next week. We might have another guest. It might just be me, but either way, I've got the goods and I've got the information to help you start your journey of continuing to teach and travel and do the things that work for you and the things that are on your goal setting list to help you live the life that you want to live. It's been great. I'm so glad that I was able to connect with you here another week. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, you can reach me at always_travel_light. You can also connect with me at the Facebook group, Loves Teaching, Will Travel. I'm trying to build a community there where we can have all our resources and everything in one space, and you can have people to reach out to and connect to and ask questions. And I feel like as we continue to build this community, I want us to be able to have this as a safe space to talk about things that we might not feel comfortable talking about with our coworkers or our friends or our family because they might judge us about our thoughts on relocation or changing careers, right? So if you'd like to connect, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm available. Shoot me a DM. And until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.